There was a lot of moves made this week, first of all. I think Daniel Jones might be the biggest overpay I've seen in a long time. A long time. What are
Yeah,
your
it's
thoughts?
crazy. I completely agree. I don't even know. I think that's a good way to sum it up. The biggest overpay I've seen in a long time, for
It's
sure.
just
It makes me wonder how much they have. Just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
well, here's the thing. I disagree with the move? No, because I'm in the camp and Tyler, I don't know how about you feel about this because this might be something that you can relate to, but I'm part of the camp where you don't pay a running back big money. And the conversation was between Daniel Jones and Saquon for contracts and franchise tags. And I think that keeping Daniel Jones around makes sense. But if he's making that kind of money, it's just like, what are some of these other guys going to get? How do you keep that in mind for your team? I mean, neither of you really have to worry about that right now because the contract, like, Mac Jones isn't going to sign that kind of contract right now. Honestly, Jared Goff probably isn't going to ever sign a contract like that. But Trevor Lawrence is going to cost us a pretty penny at some point. And it's like, we're seeing what's going on with Lamar Jackson, which we can also talk about in a second. But it's like, if Daniel Jones is getting that kind of money, like, what the fuck are we doing here? And I get the quarterbacks are the most valuable position in football, but what the fuck?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too. Because I know that you are so on this whole Trevor post rookie contract situation and how much the franchise is going to have to pay. We talked about that when we talked about caps and all that stuff. But what kind of precedent is this going to like set? And also just kind of like going into negotiations, how do players be able to say like, hey, I'm worthy of this salary, but also Daniel Jones is getting, paid X amount. So I don't know.
Shout
I
out to
thought it
his
was insane.
agent. Honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah, well done by
Well
the
done.
agent. Well done.
GG's.
He or she, whoever it is, they deserve a raise for sure.
They deserve whatever of that
They should get
$140 million.
Yeah.
half
Yeah,
of Daniel's
honestly.
contract. They should get that.
I will say I did see a meme and I thought it was really fucking funny. And a lot of people might find this offensive. I don't really give a fuck, obviously, but it was a meme and I don't remember who made it or what it said. But it was like just another mid white dude getting more money than they deserve. And I was just like, so, um, it makes sense, but that was kind of a huge breaking news thing this week. In relation to that, the Lamar Jackson, is it non-inclusive or non-exclusive? What is it?
Non-exclusive.
Not exclusive. That just sounds to me.
I think it's plenty inclusive.
Yeah.
It's open to anybody can have this tag designation.
Yeah, okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the options now are he is franchise tagged, but if someone comes along and offers him money, the Ravens can either choose to match that or not. And if they don't, and this team takes Lamar, they get the next 2 first round picks as well.
Yes, I believe. My question with it, I know it's 2 first round picks. I don't know where those picks come from, if they're like compensatory,
Yeah.
just
Right.
they are just made up, or if the team has to give them 2 firsts. That's where my confusion is.
Yeah, that
But
makes
I
sense.
kind of lean they're compensatory.
Well, so
I just don't think we've ever
yeah,
seen this before.
I don't know, but I
So
also
at
saw
least I haven't.
yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this. And if you know of someone that we're clearly missing that this happened to, let us know. But I heard that a lot of people have been saying, and I heard Stephen A say this morning, and it's just what someone in Daniel Jones' camp told him. And so there's a lot of rumors going around that he was offered like 200 million guaranteed or whatever, which I think that the offer was 130 million guaranteed. At least that was the last confirmed and that could not be true, but that's what Daniel Jones camp told Stephen A. Smith. So if that's the case, and Daniel Jones, or I mean, I'm sorry, I said Daniel Jones camp. I meant Lamar Jackson's camp is telling Stephen A. Smith. I'm still thinking we're talking about Daniel Jones. But I was going to say, if Daniel Jones was paid that kind of money, then Lamar obviously deserves a better contract than Daniel Jones holds.
Right. And that's what's crazy about the Daniel Jones contract Is because is
dude.
Daniel Jones worthy of that money to begin with?
People talk about the Christian Kirk contract messing up the wide receiver market, but honestly, the Daniel Jones contract is doing the same thing, and nobody's saying it because
Exactly, to the
if
QB
he's
market.
getting
As is the Deshaun Watson contract.
Exactly.
yeah, and it's the same amount. Like, that's so frustrating. That's so frustrating, especially
Quarterbacks
because
are just overpaid. Like the inflation for quarterbacks is just through the roof, and there's no stopping it.
they're gonna have to change how much you're allowed to spend on your roster, honestly, because some of these guys are like, you should be able to pay Saquon and Daniel Jones that amount of money, especially because these
Right.
not that I'm saying that I think the football players deserve more money. That's not what I'm saying. Like, they already make fuck tons of money, obviously. But it's like, when you fuck up the market like this, what do you expect? Like, some of these other guys, you should be able to pay Daniel Jones and Saquon the amount of money that they're worth, and then still, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucked.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Saquon is more valuable, but you just don't spend that kind of money on that position.
Also, if it doesn't work out, it makes the Giants look so stupid.
Well, they already do look stupid.
Well,
they
that's the
already
thing.
do.
That's the thing. So, like, if you're gonna make a ballsy move like this, I would think that it would be in something more. I would feel more confident making a ballsy move like this with Saquon more than I would feel about making it with Daniel Jones.
I do too, but it's like, at the same time, what are you gonna do? Who are you gonna go out and get? Or who are you going to draft that's going to put your team in a successful place to compete in the division that you're in right now? I just don't see, other than Daniel Jones. And that's the thing too, is that he kind of, I don't want to say he earned that money, because he didn't earn what he got paid, but he had a good enough season for them last year that he can't, like, they can't really let him walk away.
Well, right. And that's what we talked about last week. And I said this too. My only free agency / trade deadline situation we predicted was Daniel and Saquon to the Giants, which means I got 1 out of 4. So I'm gonna call that a dub.
You predicted both of them, didn't you?
I said
we
both
both
of them. But
2 points.
overall, like, I got Carr wrong, which we'll get into. I got Lamar wrong, which we are getting into.
I might be reading too much into it. Maybe Daniel Jones manufactured some sort of leverage and convinced the Giants front office that there were like no quarterbacks in this draft that were good. Like, I agree with that take.
That's interesting.
Maybe he manufactured his own leverage,
or his agents did.
Tricked
the agents
front office.
I do agree that I don't think that any of these quarterbacks are long-term NFL quarterbacks. Sorry about it. I do have some notes about Anthony Richardson. But that being said, I do somewhat agree with that. I have one more thing I want to comment on the Lamar situation. Diana Rossini said today that pretty much all the other teams that we thought were interested in Lamar are said to not have interest in him any longer, which I think is interesting, but I'm not quite sure what that means. So it means something if those teams aren't interested, but I just don't know what yet. Obviously.
I feel like that might mean they have to give up the picks too. If they're really that scared of it.
Yeah.
I feel like one of them would be still in on him.
Yeah. So,
if it's true, it could just be a fake headline.
Yeah.
But
other quarterback news, Derek Carr to the Saints, which didn't seem like somewhere that he was originally really looking at or talking to, but it happened so quick. But honestly, if he's not in a Raiders uniform, I think that he makes so much sense in a Saints uniform. I don't know if it looks like because he's always wearing eyeliner or what it is, but it makes sense. It looks like a Halloween, like it just gives Halloween vibes.
Yeah, for some reason, I'm in the same boat. I don't know why that wasn't even on my radar for somewhere for him to go. But I don't know. New Orleans is interesting because I feel like they can either run the ball decently well or throw the ball decently well, depending on where they put their weapons. And I feel like they've been kind of lacking in the quarterback department recently, obviously. And seeing Derek Carr's ability to throw the football, I think will be interesting to see what they can do with that. But again, it's different coaching down there than it was when Drew Brees was there. So we can't necessarily always assume that whoever goes to New Orleans is going to be a franchise quarterback. But
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That's an interesting situation, especially because he's not that young. Like, do you think that this is going to be the last contract he signs? Because I kind of do.
Well, that's what I'm
absolutely
saying.
do.
Like, if he doesn't do well here, like this is kind of like your last shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the vibe I get.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It makes a lot of sense for him to be there. I don't see it. I don't see him winning a Super Bowl. I don't see New Orleans winning a Super Bowl with Derek Carr.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see him on any team other than Vegas because he was so unsupported there. I feel like
Or Oakland, wow, RIP.
Oakland RIP, man.
Yeah. So not a whole lot of thoughts. Just Jameis Winston ? Andy Dalton ? The end. Aaron Rodgers came out of his cave and is now expected to be talking with the Jets rather quickly. It was reported by a couple different people that originally thought that he would be a Packer next season. Talks somehow went south very quickly, and it was no longer how can we make this deal, but how can we make this breakup kind of a little bit more pleasant for both parties. I do think him pulling a Brett Favre and becoming a Jet makes sense. I could see him living in New York. I feel like drug culture is very popular in New York, so he could probably do some darkness DMT like during the bye week because there's probably a shaman there and he wouldn't have to travel very far. So I do think that him also still in green makes sense, but does this mean that he also has to be a Viking and or put dick pics on the internet? ?
Time is a flat circle.
It's true. It really
I don't
is.
think
Simulation.
I don't think playing for the Jets prohibits your ability to send dick pics and put them on the internet.
Definitely doesn't, because that's what fucking Brett Favre did. So Aaron Rodgers, maybe if he does too much DMT, that's what's gonna happen. Like Tyler said, flat circle. Where's your tinfoil,
Still didn't bring it in.
Tyler?
Yeah.
You
So
had one
Lamar?
job.
I need one of you to remind me to do that before
You had
next
one
week.
job.
Yeah.
There's got to be
Why
a
is
TikTok.
that our job?
I don't know. I need to be reminded about tinfoil. I don't think about tinfoil.
It's
All
isn't
right.
it in your car?
What? Oh my
What?
god! Because he leaves everything in his car for days, like the paper towels.
Yeah.
There's a fresh box of High Noons in my car that's been there for a good
This is
week
what
and
I'm
a
saying.
half.
Wow. Is that
Yeah.
legal? Are you just
Are you
staying
okay?
As long as
strapped
they're in
with
the
high
back,
noons?
as long as they're in the back, it's legal.
Okay. Stay
Yeah.
strapped with the high noons.
I think. Don't quote me on that. Don't take law advice from me. First off,
I'm not a
calling the
lawyer.
police.
I think I do have to tell people that since I just gave law advice. That was not law advice.
Chris, is that a weed? We already talked about Tom Brady. Geno Smith staying in Seattle, kind of saw that coming. Also, there's rumors that Tennessee is shopping Derek Henry. But I think that it would be fucking sick if Derek Henry left the Titans. I would fucking throw a rager. That would be incredible. I would love to watch them cry real tears.
Oh, they ride so hard for him. It's
And eat mayonnaise.
unbelievable.
People are like, bring Derek Henry home. I'm like, no, thank you.